Hello and welcome to the weather video for this weekend. As you noticed, things have gotten a lot colder this evening. We had clouds shifting to the east today for the most part. You could see a little bit of high cloudiness off to the east and then another little batch of cloudiness coming down here, another little piece of energy, I guess you could say. But did start off the morning with clouds, and then things improved later on. Toward after like noon, things got better, and I actually made it back to some pines. And as far as tonight goes, you see that cirrus off to the east, but we have pretty much starlit skies, and the temperatures have dropped quite a bit. Before I talk about that, though, let's talk about yesterday, because yesterday was quite warm. Again, we got near 50, and then in New Jersey, around 60. Especially Ocean County. Look at that, 61 in Temps River yesterday. So, yeah, luckily the sea breeze kept us cooler than that yesterday. But let's talk about what we got in the here and now, which is the cold. And the cold is here, and it's going to be here for a while. We got some, breezy conditions. Nothing terribly windy, but definitely breezy conditions. So it's 28 degrees right now at Islip. The dew point is 7. We hit 46, but I think that was earlier. That was probably a midnight high, probably, for the day. But you can see showing you how the temperatures have dropped throughout the day. No, it was actually in the mid-40s. No, that is today. Wow, light rain? They were reporting light. No, it's AM. Oh, my mistake. So, it actually did get to the mid-40s actually this morning. Yeah, so it did get up into the mid-40s, and it was milder early on. You can see the clouds, and they started breaking up as you got toward 12:30. And you can see how the temperatures started dropping, and the dew point started dropping as we got into the afternoon. However, it still really wasn't all that cold. We were in the mid-30s by sunset, but then after sunset, that's when the temperature started dropping into the 20s, and you can see what we've got going on right now with these pretty much colder conditions, though nothing crazy, but definitely much colder than it was for sure. And that is definitely a big change from what we've been experiencing as we get into this colder air mass here. I can't say this is Arctic air. I don't think it's Arctic air. It's just Canadian polar air. But definitely a lot colder for sure. And if we look at our climate summitry today, again, high of 46, the low of 37. This was taken at 4 o'clock, so the low would now be 27. But that high of 46 was reached at 9:36 in the morning. And month to date, we've gotten 1.03 inches of rain. Barely anything yesterday. It was just a little bit of light rain, and that was pretty much it. So let's go ahead and look at what we have for the weekend. And we definitely are going to see colder weather and even some chances for precipitation here. So I'm going to first start off with the European model here, the 18Z run of the European, so you can see what's going to be happening. So high pressure builds in tomorrow. You still notice that pressure gradient there. Still kind of in that pressure gradient, so we're still going to have a breeze. No radiational cooling tonight, probably. And then we have this low-pressure area coming out of the Great Lakes that's going to bring a chance of light mixed precipitation over our area for part of Saturday, mainly probably late morning through mid-afternoon. Right now, if you're looking at this, you see that it's mostly green over Long Island. So mixed, I don't really think there's going to be a whole lot of accumulation. Kind of goes to show you that this air mass isn't that cold. All right. And then that moves out, and then we have a little bit of a break, and then we have this coastal system it's going to develop. But you'll notice it's pretty much suppressed. It stays offshore. This is what the European has been thinking. However, the GFS has been wanting to have it closer to the coast. So I'll show you the GFS here. And the GFS is a little closer to the coast, but a weaker system, but it does brush us with a little bit of light mixed precipitation for part of Sunday. You can see that right there. So there's different... and this is all because of the models handling the different shape of the trough that we have. So this is what the trough looks like on the GFS. So it's a little more of a tilt there. Whereas if we go to the European, it's a little more of a flatter look, just slightly, ever so slightly, and that makes the difference. So right now, I'm not really too bullish on any big snow events or anything like that. Let's go first for the short term here and talk about our weather through tomorrow here. And I'll go to the dew points and wind flow. So you can see that we have definitely drier air in here. You've got the west winds. Luckily, the winds are more west-northwest. Earlier, they were west-southwest, and I was dealing with some furnace exhaust, but now the winds are more west-northwest. Now tomorrow, they're going to be westerly, but then they're going to start backing a little more to the west-southwest as we get into the evening, and that's going to mean moderating temperatures And that's part of the reason why we're looking at the mixed precipitation on Saturday versus snow. So, see, again, low dew points, though, and the winds go southwest as we get into Saturday, and that's an issue for precipitation. The dew points are actually above freezing on Saturday, which definitely makes it unlikely that we're going to see any accumulating snow over Long Island, perhaps to the north and the west. So we'll look at our actual air temperatures now. And you'll see tonight we will be dropping, though. The temperatures will be dropping probably to around 20 in the morning. Maybe some teens in some outlying areas, perhaps to the north and west mainly. I think it's going to be lows around 20, perhaps some teens. We'll be pretty cold in the morning. And then tomorrow, we will moderate. We'll get up to the mid-30s tomorrow, particularly if you're in New Jersey. If you're over Long Island, maybe closer to like 30, the freezing mark, perhaps. And then tomorrow night, you notice the temperatures don't drop that much. We have that southwesterly flow that'll keep the temperatures up. And then for Saturday, we are above freezing. Temperatures will probably be in the mid-30s. But you notice that when that precipitation falls, it will drop the temperatures a little bit. All right. Now this is the HRRR. It's not going to show the Sunday system, but it will show the Saturday system. So as we go in here, you'll see there's that little area. There's one little area that comes in overnight. Not going to be that much. And then the other area that's going to come through Saturday afternoon. You can see it's showing some. Again, it's going to hard. You might see flakes flying, but it's going to be hard to accumulate it. Should be done by 3 or 4 o'clock, and the Saturday night should be dry, fortunately, because last Saturday, we all know what a disaster that was with the weather. Total accumulated, we'll go to the total snowfall, see what the HRRR is thinking. I think this is overdone. I don't think we're going to see much accumulation on Long Island. Maybe an inch in some of the areas on the North Shore. I mean, if something changes, I'll do another weather video. But right now, I'm not too bullish on this Saturday system really accumulating anything. And if you're in Suffolk County, nothing. Jersey Shore, probably nothing. This is, I think, overdone. Given the temperatures and the dew points, I think this is definitely a little on the overdone side. So that's what the HRRR is showing. So that is what the HRRR is showing for the system for Saturday. We'll just look at some soundings here for a moment, show you what we're going to be dealing with sky cover. So this is noon. So what do we got here? There's a little bit of a mid-level moisture that might come in. It looks like over Long Island, perhaps. A little bit. Nothing terrible, but we might see some altocumulus perhaps around. Seems like it gets a little more pronounced as you get toward later in the day. Curious if this is as pronounced over New Jersey. Oh, it's even more pronounced over there. So, yeah, we'll probably see some mid-level clouds mixing with the sun, perhaps more toward the afternoon tomorrow, probably. May not be a completely sunny day, according to what I'm looking at here on the sounding. However, when I'm looking at this, I really don't see it, but I see this blob of clouds. I'm not sure if those are mid-level. Those look more like low-level clouds, but there could be some cloud. And just judging by these soundings here, all right, for tomorrow. Let's go to the NAM. We should have the full NAM in here. So here's the NAM, and we'll take a look. The NAM goes a little further out. So this is the NAM, and again, you can see the NAM's even drier. It barely has anything. So that's what I'm saying. I just don't see this system on Saturday really producing a whole lot here. This is the total snowfall. Nothing on the NAM at all showing. HRRR, however, again, we go to the HRRR, and I will go to the total accumulated precip as well on that, just the liquid. And that's, I think that's overdone, honestly. I really do. So I just think this is a little overdone. I don't think we're going to see quite that much. It's interesting that this run of the HRRR has this. Let me see what the FV3 has. Oh, so this is the FV3. It has the FV3 is a little more to the north and west, which is what I'm thinking. So if we go look at the FV3, you'll see most of that snowfall is north and west. So this could be an event for perhaps north and west of the city where you might get an inch or two out of that. The GFS is a little slower with it, so might not end until 4 or 5 o'clock. But we can go and look at the total snowfall on this. What do we got here? Yeah, it's just like a light, barely anything at this point. I just don't see it. Honestly, I just don't see it. I just don't see it. So those are the models that I'm going to look at here for this storm at least. Let's go to the NAM and look at the sky thing here for. So let's look at this. So first, look at the NAM, so you can see what happens tomorrow. So you start off clear, and then these mid-level clouds will probably try to come in by the afternoon. So we'll start off clear, and then the mid-level clouds kind of come in and mix in with the sunshine for tomorrow. And then obviously Saturday we will see plenty of cloudiness, and Sunday probably too. This is as far out as it goes for Sunday's system. We will show you the RGM as well for tomorrow as well. And you can see a similar deal for tomorrow. So it starts off clear, and then the early part of the day is clear, and you'll start seeing some clouds come in and mix in a little bit. And then obviously we'll have clouds for Saturday and much of the weekend as well. Now let's see what the RGM does tendency to go a little. It goes a little further. So let's see what it's doing with the Sunday system, and it really has it. It has a weak diffuse system that kind of comes through, and really, it's really very weak. And again, the borderline temperatures. This is the RGM, not the most accurate. We can go to total snowfall, and the RGM obviously giving us a lot more than I think that we would ever see from that system. And it's very unusual. We'll go to the GFS here. This is what the GFS is showing. Again, barely anything. Barely anything. All right. Go to the icon. Icon doesn't go far enough out. Let's the 0Z run. So let's go look at this run instead. So this is the icon here. You see here that, again, very little here being shown here. The models tend to be weaker with this coastal system, and I don't see a big snowfall with this. I don't see much of a snowfall at all. It might be just enough to coat the ground, perhaps. That's at least that's what I'm thinking right now. Let's go to the European. Take another look at this on the European here. This is the European model, and you can see that's the Saturday system. And then here comes the Sunday system. It's completely offshore. So I'm kind of thinking like this. Thinking like it's mostly offshore. Now, the temperatures also won't be all that cold either for the weekend either. You'll see that the dew points aren't that low. We don't really get into that colder air until we get to next week. And then we get into Monday and Tuesday especially. That's when we're going to start seeing some real bona fide Arctic air. We're going to have temperatures that are going to be struggling to get to the 20s on Tuesday. But weekend's not going to be all that cold, just seasonably cold, 30s, mainly mid-30s. But then you'll notice as you get into Monday, you notice that Arctic air coming into them, and then it really comes in on Tuesday. But we'll talk more about that on Sunday night. So that's what it's looking like over here. And again, we can also look at some of those soundings as well on this. The European do sounding? Yeah, it does. Okay, we're going to look at some soundings on the Euro, too, as far as skies for tomorrow. I think you'll see a similar type of deal here. All right, that doesn't look too bad. That's 15Z. See a little more closer together over New Jersey, but I think the morning should be clear on Long Island for tomorrow. And we'll see more clouds toward the afternoon, I think. So it should hopefully be another day, another opportunity perhaps for me to get to the Pine Barrens. So anyway, now that we've looked at all of these models on this, let's go to windy.com, and we can take a look and see what the Euro is thinking as far as snowfall amounts go. And again, I'm just not seeing it. I'm not seeing it. So let's go to the new snow forecast, and I could just run this forecast through, and this is what the European is showing. And let's see. It's not the Saturday system. Yeah, it is. It's actually bringing more snow with the Saturday system and nothing with the Sunday system, I think. And again, I think this is overdone, honestly. But I think this is going to be a little more to the north and west. But some areas on the North Shore might see an inch. But I think most areas on Long Island are going to see very little snow from this. And if anything changes, we'll see what happens. But right now, that's what I'm thinking right now. As far as this goes. And Saturday, again, we'll go over to Saturday here. We'll show you again where the snow is, and you can see that's where it is. And I'm hoping there isn't any sucky drizzle for the evening. I don't think there will be, but there could be drizzle when the snow is coming down. When the I shouldn't say it like that, But when there's snowflakes, it's going to be a very wet snow, and there could be mixed in with some drizzle, perhaps. But again, it really won't be much snow at all. And we'll go to event to sky next, because we're going to look at it on this too as well. And this is sad. As you can see where the precipitation is, and it shows, again, it's showing snow, but look at these temperatures and the wind direction. This just doesn't favor it, in my opinion. So if we had a northeast wind, okay, but a southwest wind, no, I don't see it, man. I just don't see it. So I don't think we're going to see much of any snow for the weekend. And maybe if things change, I will update you. But that's right now my opinion on what we have. We have the weak coastal system that's probably going to pass offshore and just brush us with maybe a flurry and clouds. And for Saturday, we have this little bit of energy here, a little bit of moisture that's coming through. But the problem is that wind direction from the southwest. Not really a good wind direction for snow. And honestly, I think if there is snow, you'll see it fall, and you'll see it probably melt when it hits the ground. You got to remember, this is also during the day. If it was at night, it would be a different story, but it's during the day. The sun is shining through the clouds. So honestly, I just don't see an accumulating snow for most areas on Long Island. Now, the north and west, yeah, it's possible you might get an inch or two. On the north shore of Nassau, perhaps an inch. But outside of those areas, I just don't see it. So that's all I got for you. Have a good night.